Hey, what is going on, everyone? Today we have a very special video to talk about, and there are a couple of reasons for why that is. Now, the first is because we are on the eve of the Stonewall riots, which is a very important time for the LGBTQ+ movement, and because this was an American thing, I don't want to risk remembering things incorrectly. I'm not going to over every historical detail, but know that this is a very important time alongside the month of June that we have for Pride Month. Secondly, I have a very important announcement to make. This will maybe not come as to a surprise to many who follow me closely, but it may be for some who are either new to my channel or don't watch or keep up with everything there is to do with or know about me. So we'll be talking about that a bit later as well. I also want to do a bit of a review of Pride Month in relation to Marvel Strike Force, go over everything that we've had this month, and give it a rating out of 10 about what I think, how they did in general, and what they can improve upon for next year. So as always, strap in tight. Hopefully I don't melt away in this heat because I'm recording this. It's an awful weekend here in Vancouver with 30+ degrees Celsius. But before I do, let's get this video started. Alright guys, so I want to start things off here with this photo. You guys may have seen this. This was available on the Marvel, there was a Marvel news article that kind of outlined all of the Pride events. This was a very important picture for me, and we're going to talk about early on why that is. Now, I had a whole kind of script that I had laid out. We're not going to use that anymore. I'm just kind of going to say what I mean. And I want to tell everyone that this isn't going... I don't think this is going to change anything, but it might for some people. This might cause me to lose, you know, some viewers, some subscribers, because this is not a very fun topic to talk about in some cases, but I want to tell people anyways. And why am I saying this? It's because I, Boylon, am gay. And why is this important? Maybe it's not in 2021, but for some people it is. And because this is the internet, and because that, you know, people are watching me from all over, you know, I do have a general idea of where people are watching me from, but not everyone is the same, you know, not everyone has the same political beliefs, the same ideology, the same whatever, you know, you're from a different background, you know, and it is what it is. So by me saying this, this could result in me losing, you know, some viewer base, and I'm okay with that, because at the end of the day, I never was or am hiding who I am. I just was never explicit about that. You know, I have made some vague mentions about things like this. You know, I tend to use more neutral terminology. I say things like my partner rather than you know, my boyfriend of almost 6 years, I think. I should know this coming up, and you know, so for that reason, I don't know. Again, I had a whole speech lined up, but that is kind of thrown out the window because I don't think it's important. But we are in 2021, and I think it's best to be honest, both with my viewers and myself, you know, for who I am. And again, I don't think that's going to change anything about my channel. I'm still me. I'm still Boylon. I'm still the same person that you decided to watch or are watching, or, you know, whatever it is, you know, for however long that you've been watching my channel, whether it's for a week, whether it's for a month, or whether it's been a year, because it's been just over a year since I started my channel. So I just kind of wanted to get that out there. And, you know, for a lot of you, maybe you might not think this is important, but, you know, it was a decision that I decided to make. You know, maybe I could have done it earlier in June because of the start of Pride Month. I decided to do it now. I don't know why. I thought it was the best time for me. And so hopefully you guys will still continue with me on this journey through Marvel Strike Force, through, I don't know, maybe Marvel Future Revolution if I decide to go onto that a little bit. But hopefully you guys will stick with this channel. Hopefully it doesn't change your opinion of me, because at the end of the day, I'm still me, giving you the same information that I think that you guys should know when it comes to Marvel Strike Force and everything else. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't know how people do this, but you know, this is how I decided to do it. So yeah, I'm rambling a little bit here because it's tough. Sometimes it's tough to talk about. Now, you know, for me, it wasn't really all that difficult. I know that different people had different, you know, experiences with this, and I know that Mr. Hartgrave, for example, he also had a video similarly, not about coming out or anything, but, you know, his experiences with Pride Month and why this is meaningful to him. So I kind of wanted to do this video for me and why it's meaningful for me. Well, I mean, now it's pretty obvious, and why this matters for me, and why this should matter. And that's what we want to talk about, what I'm going to talk about for the rest of the video here, now that I've got that off my chest. Why I think, you know, this is really important, what I think that, you know, what I think about the general Pride Month in games like this, and how I think that Marvel Strike Force has done in relation to that. So let's get started on that part. And so I do have that link that I was talking about with this photo. I just kind of pulled that up as a larger photo to talk about what we were just talking about. So this kind of outlined, and I think I probably went over this before, everything that we have had in June so far. So starting from the beginning, you know, we had the America Chavez Blitz on May 31st. Okay, we had the June 1st, or the June Negasonic login calendar, which is still ongoing, which actually is pretty nice because she is an X-Force member. She is usable for the release of Doc Ock, and she's actually Doom War 1.9 farmable, so, you know, it's nice to get some extra shards there. The I was about to say ice cream. Iceman costume event actually was really nice, and that you can see that in the photo here. I actually really like this, and I think that this was one of the first costumes that I ever cared about, not just because it's Iceman, or maybe it's because it's Iceman. But, you know, I do use him daily, and he's probably the only character in my roster that I use on a daily basis. Everyone else, I don't. Maybe I use them in War or something, but Iceman, I use him every single day in Doom Raid for the Astonishing X-Men team, and before that I was using them in Ultimate 7.5 anyways. But yeah, this was one of the better ones, I think, as part of the event, so I was really happy with that, and it gave us some extra rewards, I'm pretty sure in the milestones there were some extra resources as well, so that was nice. Then we had the Phyla-Vell event that just ended recently, and she is a powerhouse character alongside Infinity Watch, so that was really good as well. And of course, it's not mentioned here, but alongside the Phyla-Vell event campaign, we had the vote for the President Loki costume event, which is fine. You know, I think that this was a way that they were trying to monetize the costumes. But if you watch my videos from before, we did get a net increase in amount of resources due to that. So, you know, frankly, I'm happy with that. It is what it is from a costume basis. But yeah, Iceman definitely number one for the month of June. Shatterstar Blitz, this was good too. For my baby account, this was great because it gave me a way to unlock Shatterstar because the Arena Orb sucks. Now, for anyone else who were around for the Shatterstar event back in December, I'm pretty sure it was now, you know, it gives you an extra way to pick up, I don't know, however many shards, 21 from the milestones. You know, you could have got 25, 45, 55, or 100 on your payout, and if you needed that towards Adam Warlock, which obviously is the X Factor requirement here, then you could have been on your way to 5-star, 6-star, or whatever. I think I'm actually halfway to 7-star on Shatterstar because he is also in the Gamma Raid. Gamma Raid Orb. I have pulled him from time to time. So there's been a lot, and because of the RTA as well for Shatterstar, there's been a lot of good ways to pick up shards for it. Not complaining here. June 17th, Mystique Blitz. She's okay. Not really all that useful now, but that was part of... Nope, actually it was on the first day of the Moondragon event, so that just was way to, you know, farm for Unity Orb Fragments. And so let's talk about the Moondragon event. It's interesting. It basically mirrors the Moon Knight event from a couple of months ago. Exact same setup. Basically, it's almost identical in nature. I'm pretty sure the points were a little bit more... they were more generous in the raid section of the Moondragon event versus the Moon Knight and the Red Guardian event. But otherwise, it was pretty much the same. And what is most important to talk about is actually that tag Quirky. Now, I know a lot of people have been talking about that over the last couple of weeks. I do want to go over that very slightly after we're finished here, because I think that Scopely and Boundless kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit with this one. I think that they could have chose a better word, almost any other word to do this. I just don't think it was their best choice of terminology for traits. And now if you were to look Quirky up in the dictionary, most people would think this isn't bad, but if you do look at the characters that are involved, We'll get to that. But anyways, we had the Iceman Blitz that, as of this video anyways, this is still ongoing. I'm also really happy for this. You know, more shards for Iceman. Why, you know, he's not farmable yet. And again, for my baby account who never got a chance to unlock Iceman, it does give me a way to get closer to that unlock despite being 100 shards. So I'm probably not going to after this Blitz, but it does bring me a lot closer. So, that's really all about it. I don't think there was anything else down here. This is basically a patch about Infinity Watch. Most of June was Infinity Watch. We had Phyla-Vell, Moondragon, and Adam Warlock, who's soon to come. But overall, I think that part of June, for the game anyways, has been okay. But I do want to dive into the quirky tag very quickly before we round out this video and kind of talk about why they need to do better for next year. And also, I want to touch on briefly what they've done in the last 2 years. So let's check on over to the game. Okay, so here we are in the game, and this is with the quirky tag filtered. Now, I should have said this in the beginning when I was talking about myself. Why do I think that, why is this important to me anyways? By the way, I forgot to mention, I'm also a double minority. Not only am I a gay male, but I'm also Japanese. So some people didn't know that about me. I am actually of a Japanese heritage, and so being this double minority, I feel that in some cases here, a lot of these characters who are tagged quirky, not only are they on the LGBT spectrum, but they are also minorities. And so I think they really doubled down on this poorly. And for the characters, you know, there's going to be people in the comments down below who are going to be like, okay, Boylon, you know, some of these characters are white, and yes, they are. But that's only because they had to choose 33 characters. It's always been 33, by the way, from Moon Knight and Red Guardian. Go back to my other videos. It's always been 33 characters. I'm pretty sure 32 or 33 that they've used for these events because they need to fulfill some sort of raid requirements so that you can use some of these characters to complete the event. Otherwise, people would be rioting over this. So for those characters who are white and you know, not LGBT or minority, that's why, because they're just there to fulfill the raid requirements, because if they weren't, you would not be able to use some of these characters, and it would be almost near impossible to complete the event. But let's go one by one for each of these characters. So Moondragon, she is a lesbian, as far as I'm aware, or at least on the LGBT spectrum. Gamora, again, I think the reason why she's on there, as far as I'm aware, she's not on the LGBT spectrum, but she is needed there because she's a Guardian member, so she is usable in the Gamma Raid, which is primarily that for this event, and also because of Infinity Watch, so that's no surprise there. Jubilee, she's Chinese, so hey, we got another minority. As far as I'm aware, she's not on the LGBT spectrum, but, you know, again, I don't know everything about Marvel, so feel free to correct me in the comments down below. Phyla-Vell, we know about that. Shatterstar is gay, also white, but that's okay, he's gay. Rocket Raccoon is a raccoon? Yeah, God, I don't know why that took me so long. And basically non-human. Killmonger, he's just crazy. Again, he is a quirky guy, apparently. So I think the reason why he was on there was, again, to fulfill some of these requirements, because in the Gamma Raid there is a Wakandan section, and a mercenary section, actually, frankly, so he can be usable there. Spider-Man, again, OG Spider-Man, you know, he really sucks anyways, but I think that, again, he was added in there for the Spider-Verse section. I think they just needed to make sure that each section of the Gamma Raid, particularly, had some characters that you can use, because for the we don't really talk about the Doom Raid, I talked about that in the previous video, but for Ultimus, obviously, you can use any characters that you want. Mystique, again, for that Brotherhood section of the Gamma Raid, also she's a lesbian, as far as I'm aware. Luke Cage is black. Hey, so we have another minority tick boxed. Elektra, now I don't think there is a hands section anymore. I'm pretty sure that was removed in Gamma, right? So I'm not sure about Elektra, actually. Let me know if there's anything specifically I'm missing about Elektra down below. Iceman, he is gay. Domino, I don't know. I think she's been on the. I think she's been back and forth. I think she may be bisexual. I'm not entirely sure on this one. Also, let me know down below. She doesn't follow any tags that are actually usable in Gamma, as far as I'm aware, so I'm not really too sure about that one. Kitty Pryde has definitely been on the spectrum. I have read quite a bit of comics. Falcon, black, also part of the Avengers, so you can use in that Avengers section of Gamma. Star-Lord, definitely on the spectrum. He has had a polyamorous relationship, I'm pretty sure, during a recent comic section, maybe within a year or so. Negasonic is a lesbian. White Tiger, not too sure on this one. I'm not very knowledgeable about White Tiger, admittedly. Shadowlands also not available in the Gamma Raid, so not sure about that one. Toad, he's different. His skin's not white. Also the Brotherhood tags, so fulfills this sort of raid requirement for Gamma. Stature, pretty sure that she has been somewhere on the spectrum at some point, also part of Pimtech, so if I'm wrong about the LGBT spectrum on Stature, she's still part of the Pimtech, which is again a requirement for the Gamma raid, which is absolutely trash, by the way. Gamma sucks hard. Ant-Man, I don't think there's anything there. Again, I think it's part of that Pimtech requirement for Gamma. Miss Marvel, she is a weird one, and I don't mean weird, but if you actually like read the comics, which I do, I read the Champions comic. She's definitely the definition of quirky, but she's also Muslim. So again, another minority there, and I think they've just chosen. I don't know if this is just. The definition of it is just bad. Moon Knight, he would be, you know, if you just took the definition of quirky, Moon Knight definitely qualifies there. So some of these could be legitimately quirky characters, but I just think that the timing, you know, if this was for the Moon Knight event and they decided to go quirky, that's fine. But, you know, it's just, I don't know. I think it was super bad timing for the use of that name. Yo-Yo, she was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know if she was actually I don't think she was in the comics, was she? I don't actually know too much about Yo-Yo other than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I watched, and she was not LGBT, but she's a minority. She was Mexican. Yo-Yo Rodriguez, at least in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the TV show. Multiple Man, probably they added him quirky because there's like, there's many of them, right? There's Madrix Prime and all sorts of things. Other than that, let me know if I'm missing anything about Multiple Man. Deadpool, I mean, this is kind of obvious, but Deadpool is also somewhat on the spectrum. He's also kind of crazy. Drax, again, I feel like this is to fulfill the Guardians requirement here a little bit here. I don't think, and he's in, I guess in this form he's an alien. Originally he was a human, though. Misty Knight is black. Okay, we got another one. Again, she doesn't really fulfill any other requirements for Gamma, though. Hawkeye, again, I think this is a Gamma raid fulfillment. He is white. I don't think he's on the LGBT spectrum. But again, because he's part of that Avengers tag, which is, and S.H.I.E.L.D., actually for that matter, for the Gamma raid. Iron Man, again, same thing as Hawkeye. I believe this is also because of the Gamma raid requirements for the Avengers lane. Now, I don't really recommend building him, so please don't anyways, but again, that's my thoughts there. Spider-Man Miles is black. Okay, again, Spider-Verse character for the Gamma raid, black character. America Chavez, also, I don't, she's Latino, Latina, I'm pretty sure. Other than that, I'm not sure, I don't remember her exact origins, but again, she's a minority. She's also a lesbian. So hey, we got another one. And rounding this off, the last character is Mantis. She's Asian, her actress was Asian in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. She's also an alien, and again, fulfills that Guardian requirement in the Gamma raid. So, at the end of the day, I would say, out of all of these characters that aren't minorities or anything else, is Iron Man, Hawkeye. Now, Moon Knight does qualify for, like, the definition of quirky. However, he is a white person. Multiple Man, I'm not too sure of here. Ant-Man. So most of these are actually the Avenger characters. And I guess now Pimtech. Ant-Man, Hawkeye, and Iron Man. You know, there's not very many. White Tiger is also a minority, by the way, is why I thought she's not white. So there's not a lot. Spider-Man OG, I guess. There's Killmonger. There's like less than half a dozen characters, I think, here that are white and possibly not related to the LGBT spectrum. Anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there because I'm pretty sure they just could have done something better. You know, they could have just done a better trait. They could have used a better word, I think, to describe this event. And this was probably the worst one that they've done. I also want to say, just really quickly, not that this bothers me at all, but, you know, for the last 3 years, they've actually had lesbian characters for the month of June. They've had Moondragon, Phyla-Vell, Negasonic last year, and America Chavez before that. I was really hoping that they would bring in Wiccan and Hulkling this month. I really hope that they still come to the game. Again, yeah, as part of the community, it doesn't bother me that much. It's just something that I noted that, you know, that was 3 years in a row. I don't know if they're catering or pandering to white white males or white heterosexual males who, you know, sometimes they have a thing for lesbian women. I'm not sure. But yeah, I just wanted to note that really quick. I hope Wiccan and Hulkling come to the game. I'll probably be discussing this in a future video because they are awesome, and not to mention that Hulkling is also the Emperor of the Kree-Skrull Alliance, so he's a very important person in the Marvel Universe right now. But yeah, that's the end of what I wanted to talk about today. Hopefully you guys stuck with it. Hopefully you guys still will continue to watch my videos despite what I had to say earlier. It wasn't easy for me to come out and say that, and I hope that you guys will still follow me on this journey through Marvel Strike Force and through YouTube. So, what do I give Marvel Strike Force's Pride Month out of 10? I give it a 7. I think that the quirky tag was poor. I think if it was a different tag, they might have got a 9. So that in itself, to me, gives it 2 less. That being said, it's better than what it was last year, and I'm pretty sure we have more resources and better stuff as a result. So hopefully, as the years go on, and next year we'll have an even better event, and they'll learn from their past mistakes on this. So thanks everyone for watching, guys. That's the end of the video. I'm going to get cool because I'm just sweating in here. This is awful. It's like 32 degrees now, and I need to get cool. So anyways, enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys, and until next time, stay safe, and I'll see y'all later. Boylon signing out.